Hi, I'm Alexis and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between fear and intuition. Now, throughout my life as someone who has tendencies from my childhood and my family towards panic and kind of living in a crisis mode from things going on, my nervous system is kind of always primed for the other shoe to drop, which is not my intuition. That's just an energetic patterning within myself. So throughout my life, I often have pondered about this question and been incredibly reflective about it, which is what really is the difference between fear and intuition? Because sometimes your intuition lets you know that something bad or hurtful or scary or tragic could happen. But that doesn't mean that it necessarily comes in a panic. So just reflecting on the way that my system differentiates between the two throughout the years and how I kind of talk myself through some big emotions or thoughts or feelings is when it comes to fear, I have found that that typically comes from more of like a chest up to the head situation. For me, it oftentimes comes as like a very panicked, urgent feeling, usually accompanied by some worst case scenarios going through my head or thinking about bad things that have happened in the past and fearing that they will occur. It tends to be more from a dysregulated energy, meaning it's not coming from my true self or my higher self. It's coming from a part of me that's very, very reactive. And usually when it is my fear talking and not my intuition, I tend to feel panicked, like truly panicked. Like something bad is gonna happen, there's impending doom, which is more of like a trauma response than an intuitive gut feeling or a deep down knowing. Intuition isn't always sensing something really positive and amazing happening, but I have found that intuition tends to come to me in a much more regulated, quiet way. So, for example, my dad suddenly and unexpectedly passed away several years ago. And in the months leading up to his death, where nothing was amiss, really, there were no clues, I started to feel really depressed, really sad, pretty anxious, and I couldn't identify any cause for these feelings. And they kind of persisted over time, and I never got this panicked sensation or something bad is about to happen. It was more like a very slow and gradual, deep down knowing that something really upsetting was somehow already energetically occurring or maybe really close on the horizon. And it made no sense to me till he passed away. And then I was like, oh, that was my intuition, kind of my soul showing me something that was going to be unfolding. I would say when it comes to intuition, it tends to be a feeling from deep down in the body for me. And it tends to be consistent and not change, whereas panic and fear is very changeable and it's kind of something that rises up and then might come back down. And intuition to me, or a deep down knowing, is kind of an embodiment of a deep understanding or just a knowing or truth within the self. And it doesn't have to be something as dramatic and tragic as somebody passing away. That was just an example. Sometimes I do get a bad feeling about a person when I meet them or a situation, and it's kind of like hits me in my gut of like a backing off, or this could be dangerous. But doesn't come to me as that dysregulated, panicked urgency. It comes to me as more like it hits me as kind of just truth and like like that's how it appears in my body. Okay, now this also totally relates to really positive and exciting things, and I think I'm going to be doing a video about that soon, which is when we have yet to experience something in our physical lives, how to get in the energy of something we've never experienced before and what that all means. For example, let's say, I'll use myself, you've only been in unhealthy, toxic relationships, and you really want to call in like a divine, aligned, healthy partnership. I had to get in that energy of trusting that that was possible before it manifested for me in real life. And that was a trusting in my deep down intuition and knowing, because I had not yet lived through an energy like that in a romantic relationship. Okay, I hope this video was helpful, because it can be really hard sometimes to know the difference between what is fear and what is intuitive truth for me. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Your support means everything to me. I'd love to hear if this video resonated with you in the comments below, or what your process is for understanding the difference between fear and intuition. And I hope to see you again on my channel soon.